Hello, children. A very good morning to all. Welcome back to English class. In this video, you're going to have listening skills. In listening skills, I'm going to narrate a story. Listen to the story, understand, and you have to answer the questions that follow. Okay, let's start listening skills. Listen carefully. Here is the story of Devadatta and Siddhartha. Okay, the story name is The Wise Judgment. Wise, what do you mean by wise? Wise means clever, clever judgment. Okay, now let's go into the story. Suddhodana was the king of Kapilavastu. Kapilavastu, a place name, and Suddhodana is the king of Kapilavastu. Siddhartha was his son and Devadatta his nephew. Nephew means one's sister's son is called as nephew. Suddhodana's sister's son, namely Devadatta, is his nephew. Okay, right? One day Devadatta came to king's court in an angry mood. Your Majesty, I want justice, he shouted. Who shouted? Devadatta. One day Devadatta came to king's court in an angry mood and he shouted, My Majesty, Your Majesty, I want justice. He wants some justice. What is that? What has happened? Asked the king. Siddhartha has taken my swan. He is not giving it to me, said Devadatta. So, Siddhartha, he told that Siddhartha has taken his swan and he is not giving it back to him. Then the king was surprised because he knew that Siddhartha was good and gentle. As Siddhartha is his son, he knew all about him. So he thought that, yes, Siddhartha was a good boy and gentle. Why he will do in such a way? He thought, the king thought. He never takes anything from anyone. Just then Siddhartha entered the court with a swan in his arms. So Siddhartha was holding a swan in his arms. He just entered into the court. Is that your swan? The king asked Devadatta. Yes, it is. I shot it, said Devadatta. So what happened here? Devadatta went into the forest and he shot an arrow. Then that arrow stuck into this swan. Then, but the swan fell at my feet. Who said this? Siddhartha. Then as Devadatta shot an arrow, the swan fell at Siddhartha's feet. I picked it up and took out the arrow from its side and applied medicine on its wound. So as he saw the swan with the wound, he picked it up and took out the arrow and he saved that swan. He applied some medicine on its wound and saved that swan. I saved its life. The swan is mine, said Siddhartha. So, actually, Devadatta want to kill the swan, but Siddhartha want to save the swan. Then whose swan it will be? Then the king asked his chief minister for advice. Then, as he want to make a justice, then he'll call his minister to take his advice. The king called the chief minister for his advice. The minister said, Devadatta shot the swan. If Devadatta killed the swan, then it would be his. Suppose what the minister said, if the swan has died because of the shot arrow, then that would be Devadatta's swan. But Siddhartha saved its life, so the swan is Siddhartha's. But now the swan is alive in his arms, in Siddhartha's arms. So Siddhartha saved its life. So the swan belongs to Siddhartha only. So that was the wise judgment. Okay, right. Do you agree with that or not? Yes. So, which is better, to kill the bird or to save it? Yes, we have to save the birds. Good. So, this is about this wise judgment. Did you understand the story? Then, who is the king of this Kapilavastu? Who is the king? Sudodana. Yes, Sudodana was the king of Kapilavastu. And whose son is Siddhartha? The king's son is Siddhartha. And who is Devadatta? Devadatta is Sudodana's nephew. Okay, right. Then who shot the arrow to Swan? Who shot an arrow? Devadatta shot an arrow. Who saved that swan? Siddhartha saved the swan. Okay, right. Then now I'm going to um, uh, put some questions to test your knowledge. Be ready. Yes, children. I hope you understood the story. Then here is a small assignment for you. Uh, just I'll go on reading the questions, and at the same time I'll give the answers orally also. I'm not going to give you answers in written. Why? Because this is listening skill. Just you have to listen the story and just you have to answer it. Okay. Okay. As some of you cannot write on your own, I'll say the answers orally. Okay. Then you have to grasp them. It is a test for your memory. So I'll go on saying the answers also at the same time. So you just listen to the question and answers, and you have to note down in your notebooks. This is your assignment. Okay? Right? Let's start reading. First question. Who came to the king's court? Why was he angry? Who came to king's court? First of all, yes, Devadatta came to the king's court. Then why was he angry? He was angry because Siddhartha has taken his swan. Right? Then the second question, Siddhartha had taken away something. What had he taken? Siddhartha had taken away something. He complained about Siddhartha that he had taken away something from him. What is that? What had he taken? Yes, what is that? He had taken swan. Swan. Okay. Then the third one. What had Siddhartha taken away? Siddhartha had taken away the swan. Right? Then fourth one. What did Siddhartha bring in his arms? Yes, what did he brought? Siddhartha? Siddhartha brought a swan. What did Siddhartha bring in his arms? Swan. Then, why did Siddhartha say the swan was his? Siddhartha complained. He was in an angry mood and he went to the king's court and he complained about the swan. That he complained about a swan that Siddhartha had taken. Then who actually that swan belongs to whom? Siddhartha says that the swan was his. Why he said that? Why did he say like that? Why? Because he shot an arrow. So that swan belongs to him. Then where did the swan fall? How did Siddhartha save the swan's life? Then where did the swan fall? Actually, the swan fell at Siddhartha's feet. Then how did Siddhartha save the swan's life? What he did? Siddhartha took out the arrow from the side, from the swan's side, then applied medicine on its own and saved its life. Okay. Then, which do you think is better? killing a bird or looking after it? What do you think so? Saving a bird is better than killing it, right? Then the last one. This story shows us that Siddhartha was options cunning, cruel or kind. Yes, Siddhartha was kind. Very good. Okay. Now I think you have understood the story as well as the answers also. You have listened carefully. Then write in your notebooks and post me the pics. Okay. Before posting it, please mention your class, section and name. Right? That will be easy for me to enter in my register. Okay. Thank you, children. See you in the next class. Bye bye.